Hello students, today we discuss the continuation in human excretory system. In that one, what is the structural functional unit of the kidneys? Already I said, what is the name of that one? That is the nephron. There are two types of nephrons are present. Maximum number of the nephrons which are present in cortex region, less amount, one of the part of nephron is present in medullary region. Such type of nephrons we call as cortical nephrons. Now we discuss another juxtamedullary nephrons. Juxtamedullary nephrons means the maximum part of the nephron, it will be present all along with medullary region. That's why it is called as juxtamedullary nephron. Now the structure of these nephron, especially juxtamedullary nephron. So both nephrons are same structure, but minor variation is present and all. In this one, there are two parts present in nephron. One is the glomerulus, then renal tubules. One is the glomerulus, another one is the renal tubules and all. In this one, glomerulus, how glomerulus will be formed? Whatever the blood vessel which is coming from heart to kidney, that is we call as renal artery and all. This is, it forms from the renal artery. From heart to the kidney, there it differentiated into the afferent arteriole. This afferent arteriole enter inside the nephron, then it forms into the glomerulus. It helps for filtration and all. Then from glomerulus, again one more blood vessel is coming out. That is we call as efferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole to form a group of capillaries, that is we call as glomerulus. From there, one more blood vessel, it beyond that particular glomerulus part and all, that is we call as efferent arteriole and all. Afferent means incoming towards the tubular part of the nephron and all. Then another very important, the renal tubules, the tubular structures. What are the tubular structures are present and all? What are the tubular structures? What is the tubular structure? One is the two membrane bounded cup-like structure is present. That is we call as Bowman's capsule. Then Bowman's capsule. Then many convolutions, many foldings are present. The rest of the part and all. That is we call as in this one proximal convoluted tubule, a loop of Henle, then distal convoluted tubule, then collecting duct and all. So actually these are the parts of this nephron. The nephron parts are, one is the double membrane cup-like structure, that is Bowman's capsule. Then another one, the proximal convoluted tubule. This is we called as the proximal convoluted tubule. The tubular part, it is present. The tubular structure, the renal tubular parts are, then loop of Henle, that is the hairpin like that structure is present and all. This is the loop of Henle. This loop of Henle, one is the descending, transverse and ascending. These are, it will be present, the descending loop of Henle, then transverse loop of Henle, then ascending loop of Henle. Like that, different parts are present, loop of Henle. LH means loop of Henle. Then distal convoluted tubule. All these particular part of the nephron, it connected to one more duct, that is we call as collecting ducts and all. then all the collecting ducts get together to form into the duct of Bellini. This duct of Bellini enter into the renal pyramids. It enter a renal pyramid. A renal pyramid to the renal papillae. Then a renal papillae. Renal papillae to the calyx. A group of calyces under. Then calyx to the pelvis. Then ureter. Then urinary bladder. Then urethra. The urethra too, it expels outside the body surface in the form of urine. So this is the passage. Remember carefully. So a group of all collecting ducts from each and every nephron get together to form into the duct of Bellini. Column of Bettini. Yesterday's class, last class we discussed about column of Bettini, which leaves one renal pyramid to the another renal pyramid, that is we called as column of Bettini. But column of Bellini, a group of collecting ducts to form into the duct of Bellini, then renal pyramid, then renal papillae, calyx, pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, then urethra, then outside the body surface. That is the passage, that is the root and all. Then if you observe this diagrammatically, this one, this is the Bowman's capsule. Cup-like structure, Bowman's capsule is present. Then from this Bowman's capsule, that convoluted, that is proximal convoluted, then descending loop of Henle, then transverse loop of Henle, then ascending. In ascending again, one is the thin, another one is the thick and thin ascending loop of Henle's. Then this is distal convoluted tuber. This it opens into collecting duct and all. This is the collecting ducts. Not only one, the many various parts of this, the particular nephrons it collected. This is the collecting duct. So this part we call as renal artery. From renal artery, one blood vessel it is coming out. The name of that blood vessel we called as afferent arteriole. This part we called as afferent arteriole. This afferent arteriole, inside the Bowman's capsule, it forms into this is we called as glomerulus. Like this glomerulus will form. From this glomerulus, one more blood vessel, it coming out. That is we called as, this is incoming, this is outgoing. This is we called as efferent blood vessel. What type of efferent blood vessel? This is efferent arteriole. What is the name of that blood vessel? That efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole. So like this, renal artery, one among the blood vessels, that is the afferent arteriole incoming towards the Bowman's capsule, that is we call as glomerulus. From glomerulus to this one. So glomerulus, this is the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule. So glomerulus and Bowman's capsule collectively we call as Malpighian. That corpuscles. What we call, that is important. What we call as glomerulus along with the Bowman's capsule, collectively we call as Malpighian corpuscle and all. This is the proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted tubule. Actually, in base of the Bowman's capsule, the base of Bowman's capsule, certain type of this, epithelial podocyte cells are present. The yellow color podocytes. The podocytes are present. Podocytes are present. The base of the Bowman's capsule. Then similarly, the proximal convoluted tubule, all along with the proximal convoluted tubule, here it is present. Here the cuboidal epithelium, the brush border cuboidal epithelium, the simple cuboidal brush border. So like this manner, the simple cuboidal brush border epithelium. It is lined all along with the proximal convoluted tubule. This is we called as brush border cuboidal epithelium. Epithelium all along with the proximal convoluted tubule, both sides are present. Here only one side I drawn and all, actually it is present in both sides. It helps to increase the reabsorption. For that purpose it is present and all. Then this is the descending. It will be flows towards this direction. It flows towards this direction. Like this it is flowing and all. This part we call as descending loop of Henle. Descending loop of Henle. The inner lining of descending loop of Henle, it is present into the squamous epithelium. It is present the squamous epithelium. It is lining with the squamous epithelium as well as transverse. Whatever is present, transverse, it is loop of Henle also squamous epithelium. This is the thin ascending loop of Henle. The thin ascending loop of Henle also squamous epithelium. This is the thick ascending loop of Henle. It is the thin ascending loop of Henle. It is the thick ascending loop of Henle. It is also layered with that specific type of this squamous epithelial cells only it is present. Then the distal convoluted tubule inside, it is also layered with the cuboidal. Here inner side it is layered with the cuboidal without brush border. Here it is layered with the cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium, while completely absence of brush border, that is very important. Due to absence of the brush border, with the influence of hormones, here the absorption will be takes place and here with the help of brush border, directly it ready to reabsorption maximum whatever the nutrients which are coming towards that blood and all. But here due to absence of the brush border, then with the influence of hormones ready to it must be reabsorption takes place. So that is important exam point of view. In a distal convoluted tubule, proximal convoluted tubule, both inside it is lining with simple cuboidal epithelium, whereas proximal convoluted tubule, the simple cuboidal, the external it is present, the brush border it will be present. But here the brush border will be absent and all. Similarly, that towards this one also squamous epithelium only it will be present and all. But here what you are observing up to here observe carefully up to here, whatever this one, this part we called as cortex part. This is we called as medulla. The cortex of kidney. The cortex of kidney is present. Proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, Bowman's capsule. That is most important exam point of view. Which part of nephron present on cortex region of the kidneys? Then you write Bowman's capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule. Then what about the loop of Henle? Both descending loop of Henle, transverse loop of Henle, ascending thin loop of Henle, ascending thick loop of Henle. the complete loop of Henle present only medullary region of the kidneys work. So wherever it extends maximum, such type of the nephrons we call as juxtamedullary nephrons. Wherever very less amount, very narrow amount, very little amount, it will be present towards the medullary, that is we call as cortical nephrons. So maximum it will be present, that is the juxtamedullary nephrons and all. Then what is the main difference juxtamedullary as well as cortical and all? The maximum loop of Henle is present. Then what about collecting ducts and all? Collecting duct, it begins from cortex and towards the medullary region. It coming towards the medullary region. So it will be flows towards this direction. The direction of the flowing, that is also most important. Then another very important one here, what it forms, whatever efferent arteriole. So are you understood this one? Then efferent arteriole. This efferent arteriole, the efferent arteriole along with, then it forms into this efferent arteriole, it forms the peritubular capillary network and all. Peritubular capillary network will be present and all. From here, it will be all along with here. Actually it is the double line and all. Here, the peritubular from here, yes, the nearest part of this here, peritubular capillary network. Peritubular capillary network will be formed. This is the peritubular capillary network. Here, peritubular capillary network. What happened? This peritubular capillary network and it is all along with it will be forms all along with this one. It forms. Here observe carefully. Here one among this one. It will be surround all along with that loop of Henle and all. It surround all along with the loop of Henle. It forms all along with the loop of Henle and all. It covers all along with the loop of Henle's. It covers all along with the loop of Henle. Then observe carefully. If you understand this one, then only the further concept you understood very easily and all. Then this is, it forms all along with this is the descending that blood vessel. Then this is the transverse. This is the ascending one. Then it covers here. Then one more blood vessel all along with this one. Here it will be forms. This direction towards this one. This is the descending. This is the transverse. This is the ascending. Then toward this direction, this is we call as the renal vein. This is we call as renal vein and all. So whatever the blood vessel which covers all along with the loop of Henle, that is we call as vasa recta. What we call as vasa recta. How vasa recta it will be formed? That vasa recta is present only in juxtamedullary nephrons only. It is present only juxtamedullary nephrons. Whereas vasa recta completely absent in cortical nephrons. That is most important. What is meant by vasa recta? Vasa recta, it forms the efferent arteriole. This efferent arteriole, it forms the peritubular capillary network. These peritubular capillary networks collectively it cover all along with the loop of Henle. All along with the loop of Henle. That whatever the particular blood vessel which covers all along with the loop of Henle, this particular blood vessel we call as vasa recta. This vasa recta, it will be goes to the renal vein. What is the use of renal vein? Renal vein, it collect that blood, whatever from kidney to the heart region and all. That is renal vein. Renal vein collect one among the body parts. What is the use of the veins and all? To collect all body parts. Similarly, renal vein also it collect the blood from kidneys towards that particular heart region. It is sending to the blood and all. Then, so that is we called as vasa recta. So vasa recta act as a crucial role for reabsorption of the whatever the material which enter towards the glomerulus and all. That is very important and all. This vasa recta it flows only blood and all. So what type of material it carrying and traveling of the vasa recta? Only blood. Then what it will be moving all along with the nephrons related to proximal convoluted, loop of Henle, distal convoluted, all these one, urine, filtrate, whatever after filtrate the blood, whatever the urine it will be present, whether it is the primarily, whether it is the completely, the filtrate, the urine, it will be traveling all along with the nephron tubules and all. Whereas vasa recta, it moves, it travel only blood and all. That is very important. Vasa recta, it traveling blood. Here it will be moving, it will be releasing or it will be transferring all along with whatever this that filtrate related to urine. Urine will be traveling all along with this one. So vasa recta is present juxtamedullary nephrons. Whereas cortical nephrons, juxtamedullary cortical nephrons, vasa recta will be absent. Whereas juxtamedullary nephrons is present vasa recta. That is most important. Remember. So now formation of urine after studying of the structure of this particular nephron and how urine will be formed and in this one we study about what is it by ultrafiltration. What is it by ultrafiltration? Then along with this one, glomerular filtration rate and all. What is it by glomerular filtration rate and all? Then related to JGA, juxtaglomerular apparatus. Then along with this one, reabsorption. Related to these points, it is required in this formation of urine and all. So where ultrafiltration takes place and all. Ultrafiltration takes place in glomerulus part and all. Ultrafiltration takes place in glomerulus. That is very important. Direct question and all. So ultrafiltration takes place in Malphizian corpuscles. Malphizian corpuscles means both the glomerulus as well as Bowman's capsule and Bowman's capsule. Glomerulus as well as Bowman's capsule. It will be takes place under that Bowman's capsule. It occurs ultrafiltration. In this ultrafiltration, what it takes place? How much amount of blood it enters into the glomerular from afferent arteriole. Here, afferent arteriole. Already know, afferent arteriole, it collect 1100 to 1200 ml of blood. ml of blood per minute. That means what it is meaning? How much amount of blood it recycling in a heart and each and every ventricle. So per minute, actually you studied how much quantity of blood it recycling. It must be pumping and it pumped 5 liters. Among the 5 liter, nearly so more than 1 liter of the blood directly enter into the kidneys for filtration purpose. So every minute the heart pumps 5 liters of blood. Among these 5 liters, more than 1 liter of blood directly enter into towards the renal artery. In that afferent arteriole, it collect this much amount of the blood. That means 1/5. So 1/5 of the blood. 1/5 of the blood which are pumping to the heart. 1/5 of the blood which pumping to the heart, it enter into the kidneys only. Inside the kidneys related to nephrons only, because nephrons only act as an important role for filtration and all. In this, after entering of afferent arteriole, here then it will be takes place for filtration. There are 3 membranes are required, and there is one among this one, endothelium of capillaries. Endothelium of capillaries of glomerulus, endothelium of capillary, that capillary blood vessels which are present in glomerulus and all. Then epithelium cells. Actually, epithelium cells of Bowman's capsule. Already said where it located and all. So these epithelium cells of Bowman's capsule, in between that basement membrane is present. So the endothelium of capillary of blood vessel which are present in glomerulus, then basement membrane, then epithelium of Bowman's capsule and all. Here, for understanding purpose, this is Bowman's capsule. Here it will be present podocytes. The specific cells are present, that is we call as podocytes, but it will be present in intrinsic manner. It is present in intrinsic manner. That's why it is leaving. It must be leaving the specific holes or specific pores and all. It leaving specific pores and all. In this Bowman's capsule and all, it leaving the specific holes and all. This is the podocyte. This hole-like structure we call as slit pores. What we call as slit pores and all. Similarly, inside whatever the capillaries, here in these capillary, it will be present capillary blood vessel, endothelium of capillary. It is also present a small pore-like structures. These pore-like structures we call as fenestration. What we call as fenestration. This is actually it is present in endothelium of capillary blood vessel and all. This it will be present all along with this one. This is the afferent arteriole and all. Towards this direction it is moving and all. Towards this direction it is moving all along with this one. In between, this is the basement membrane. In between what is present? That is the basement membrane is present. Towards this one, whatever the blood which are coming towards the glomerulus, in the plasma of the blood, almost all it filtered except proteins and all. Towards the fenestration, then basement, then slit pores, then coming towards the remaining parts, that means remaining proximal convoluted tubule of the nephrons and all. So like this it will be coming, it will be moving. In between, small membrane is there. For understanding purpose, I draw this much space and all. Between capillary, endothelium, capillary, whatever fenestrations are present, as well as epithelium, podocytes, which are leaving small spaces, small gaps. That gaps we call as slit pores and all. Whatever. So this is the podocytes. These podocytes have present a small gaps and all. The gaps which are present we called as slit pores. Actually, this is we called as podocyte. It leaving a small gap. That gaps only we called as slit pores. So the fenestration towards the basement as well as these slit pores, maximum filtration. That filtration other than proteins, whatever the plasma of the blood present, maximum it will be filtered. Such type of filtration we called as ultrafiltration. The ultrafiltration it takes place inside that Malphizian capsule. That means both the glomerulus as well as Bowman's capsule. It will be present and all. Then it is coming out. That is the efferent arteriole. That is it will be present into the efferent arteriole. So here, how much amount of the blood it is coming out in afferent arteriole? 1100 to 1200 ml of blood per minute. Not per day, per minute it will be coming out. In this one, in that particular amount of the blood, how much blood it will be filtered and among the 1200 ml, it filtered 125 ml of blood is the filtered. So whatever the amount of filtered formed by kidney, once again, the amount of filtered formed by kidney, that is we called as glomerular filtration rate and all. What is it by glomerular filtration rate? The amount filtered formed by kidney per minute. That is we called as glomerular. This is what we called as glomerular filtration rate and all per minute. How much it is? 125 ml per minute. 125 ml per minute. It is not a complete filtration. Primary filtration of urine. Again, whatever the minerals, nutrients, electrolytes, useful material, everything is present. Again, it reabsorption, a remaining tubular part of the nephrons and all. Primary ultrafiltration 125 ml. Like that, per minute 125 ml it filtered. Then how much quantity of blood per day it filtered and all? Think about per minute 125, per day 180 liters. 125 per minute filtered per minute. Then per day 180 liters. 180 liters of blood filtered per day. Among this filtered blood, it is not at all excrete, eliminate from our body. Again, 99% reabsorbed, rest of the tubular part of nephrons and all. 99% among 180, again reabsorbed, remaining tubular part like proximal convoluted, loop of Henle, distal convoluted, as well as collecting duct, all it will be reabsorption and all. So among 180 liters, then only 1.5 liters, 5 liters of urine excreted. So it will be found 1.5 liters of urine only. That means 178.5 liters of blood. Again it reabsorbed. 99% of the blood again it reabsorbed and all. So while this filtration, the specific pressure is required. Anything little bit pressure is required. Without examination there is no pressure. Minimum pressure. There is exam next week or forthcoming days and all. Then you read little amount and all. There is no exam means nobody cannot be read. So minimum pressure is required. Similarly here also whatever the pressure which coming from afferent arteriole, very variation. Afferent means incoming. Efferent means outgoing beyond the glomerulus and all. Afferent and efferent both are different. So afferent means incoming towards the glomerulus and all. Here, how much pressure it creates among these 1200 ml of the blood and all. Here, the pressure will be the 60 mmHg. The blood pressure in afferent arteriole 60 mmHg and all. Then, what is the blood pressure which are present in glomerular part and all? That is the colloidal hydrostatic pressure. Here it is present, whatever inside this one, that is we called as colloidal hydrostatic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure will be present, it is 32 mmHg. What is opposed? Whatever enter, all may not be reaches. Again it will be opposing. The opposing pressure we call as colloidal hydrostatic pressure, that is 32 mmHg and all. Then the Bowman's capsule pressure. The Bowman's capsule pressure. The Bowman's capsule pressure will be the 18 mmHg. Then we say, what is the net filtration pressure? What is the net filtration pressure? Net filtration. What is the net filtration pressure? What is the original pressure which are coming into this glomerulus and 60 mg? It is minus. What is the colloidal, that whatever hydrostatic pressure and 32 plus Bowman's capsule pressure, that is 18. 32 plus 18, that is related to the 50 and all. That is equal to the 10 mmHg. So net filtration pressure. What is the net filtration pressure after completion of this one? 10 mmHg. What is the glomerular filtration rate? The amount formed, that whatever by the kidney per minute and all. So whatever amount the filtered formed by the kidney per minute, whatever filtered formed by the kidney per minute, that is regarded as glomerular filtration rate. What is the glomerular filtration rate? 125 ml. Based on 1 minute 125 ml, if you calculate 1 day, that is 180 liters and all. In that 180 liters, the remaining, the tubular structure of nephron into 99% reabsorption. The finally 1.5 liter urine it ready to eliminate from our body and all. In this one, while filtration, some amount of pressure will be present in afferent arteriole 60 mmHg. Similarly, the opposite, the colloidal hydrostatic pressure, it is 32 under. Bowman's capsule pressure 18 under. 32 plus 18, 50. Then 60 minus 50 means total 10. Net filtration pressure will be the 10 mmHg, it will be present and all. That is, it will be coming related, that is ultrafiltration as well as glomerular filtration rate and all. So whenever glomerular filtration rate will be falls down and all. So whenever glomerular filtration rate, if it is false, whenever glomerular filtration rate will be fails, it will be false and all. Then what happened? Immediately, this is we call as juxtaglomerular apparatus. So juxtaglomerular apparatus, generally it forms from afferent arteriole. Generally it will be formed. Suppose it will be present related to this nephron and in this nephron rough diagram related to, again it will be present one among the thin, another thick and then related to, this is the distal convoluted tuber, again collecting tuber. Then this is the what is this one? This is related to that renal artery and from renal artery it coming out that towards that whatever glomerulus, then afferent arteriole, afferent as well as efferent. This is the afferent. In that afferent, this is the distal convoluted tubule. So in between whatever the apparatus are present, this is juxtaglomerular apparatus. So how juxtaglomerular apparatus will be formed? It formed from the cells which are modified in afferent arteriole. in afferent arteriole, the smooth muscles modified into the JG cells and all, juxtaglomerular cells and all. Similarly, the distal convoluted tubule, there that epithelial cells, it covered into the, it is these epithelial cells, it modifies, it covers into the another macula densa cells and all. It covers into that macula densa cells and all. JG cells and macula densa cells we call as juxtaglomerular apparatus and all, like this. So remember, afferent arteriole, wherever connect with the distal convoluted tubule, in afferent arteriole, smooth muscles, it modified into the juxtaglomerular cells. Similarly, in that distal convoluted tubule, whatever the epithelial cells, that is the cuboidal epithelial cells, it modified into the macula densa cells, collectively to form into the juxtaglomerular apparatus. Whenever glomerular filtration rate will be false, immediately it stimulate to the juxtaglomerular cells and all. Whenever it falls, then what happen? Stimulate juxtaglomerular cells. It stimulates juxtaglomerular cells. These juxtaglomerular cells, it release, that is the renin and all. Whenever releasing renin and all, it increase glomerular blood flow. This renin increase glomerular blood flow. Then it comes out in normal manner. Like that manner, the juxtaglomerular apparatus. Then how it is reabsorption and all? Here, maximum it will be reabsorption. What type of material will be reabsorption? Nutrients, glucose, nutrients in the form of glucose, in the form of amino acids, whatever electrolytes like salts material like sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, that bicarbonate, all these will be reabsorption. But some of these one, maximum will be reabsorption, it takes place under. Some of these one, it ready to secreted, some of these one secreted. So whatever reabsorption again to the in our body under, then rest of the part again it enter into the filtrate towards the proximal as well as distal as well as collecting ducts and all. That secreted part, whatever secrets, either in the form of the salts, either in the form of the urea, either in the form of the ammonia, it will be eliminated. So whenever the secretion takes place along with the nephron, tubules and all, then it maintain ionic balance as well as acid base to the body fluids and all. So whenever secretion that towards the tubular nephrons to maintain ionic as well as that pH balance of the body fluids. So you remember very carefully what is done by cortical nephrons, what is done by juxtamedullary nephrons, what is the difference. Juxtamedullary maximum enter into the medullary part under, whereas cortical little amount enter, but there is no role for, it is not attached any amount of vasa recta. Vasa recta it form into the efferent arteriole with the help of tubular, whatever the capillary network it forms, all get together and all. So that remember how urine it will be formed per minute, how much it will be enter into the glomerulus, what is it by ultrafiltration, what is it by JFR, what is it by, that is the net filtration pressure it will be required for that ultrafiltration, where fenestrations are present, where slit pores are present. The slit pores are present, the base of the Bowman's capsule, where cleaving the podocytes and all, that gaps we call as slit pores and all. Among in between basement membrane is present, towards this one ultrafiltration it takes place and all. So that is today's class and all. The remaining, another very important, that whatever remaining part and all we discuss in next class and all.